Right now, while you're watching this, something is sitting on top of your kitchen cabinets that you haven't looked at in years. Grease, dust, maybe worse. Your kitchen cabinets, the ones you paid good money for, the ones you see every single morning, might be working against you in ways you've never noticed, making your kitchen darker, dating your home, even putting your safety at risk. And the most frustrating part? Most of these problems have simple fixes. Some cost a couple $100s. Some take a single afternoon. Today, we're counting down the 10 most common kitchen cabinet mistakes. We're starting at number 10 and building to the single biggest mistake hiding in millions of kitchens right now. Stay with me to the end, because number 1 is the one nobody talks about, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Your cabinets are sitting in the dark. Here's what happened in almost every kitchen built before 2015. The builder installed one light fixture in the center of the ceiling and called it done. For years, you've been cooking in a kitchen where every upper cabinet casts a shadow across your countertops. You may not consciously notice it anymore, but it's the reason your kitchen always feels flat, tired, and smaller than it is. The fix is the cheapest on this entire list. DIY peel and stick LED strip lighting runs between $50 and $200 for materials. No electrician is needed for plug-in options. If you want a hardwired professional installation, expect to pay between $200 and $800 depending on the size of your kitchen and the complexity of the setup. When you turn them on for the first time that evening, you will not believe you lived without them. Your countertops glow. Your backsplash comes alive. Your cabinets suddenly look like they belong in a completely different kitchen. And if you have crown molding with even a small gap behind it, tuck a warm LED strip back there for a soft ambient glow that makes the whole room feel open and inviting. One afternoon, one of the highest impact, lowest cost upgrades you can make. Your glass cabinets are showing everything you're trying to hide. Glass front cabinets look elegant in showrooms. Perfectly arranged white dishes, crystal glasses, everything spaced just right. But in your real kitchen, behind that glass, there are mismatched coffee mugs from 20 years of collected gifts, plastic containers with missing lids, and a souvenir shot glass from a vacation you barely remember. Every person who walks into your kitchen sees all of it. The fix costs nothing. Pick your 2 best-looking cabinets at eye level. Curate them, matching dishes grouped together, glasses lined evenly. Everything else moves behind solid doors. Treat those glass cabinets like a small art display, not a storage unit. You already own everything you need. You're just rearranging it. You're still living with the hardware your builder chose 15 years ago. When your home was built, did you personally choose your cabinet hardware? Or did the builder install whatever came standard? If you're in a production-built home in California, Florida, or Texas, you got whatever was cheapest in the builder's catalog. After 15 or 20 years, those little knobs are scratched, discolored, and making your entire kitchen look older than it is. Here's the hopeful part. This is one of the highest return on investment upgrades in any kitchen. Cabinet hardware ranges from $2 to $20 per piece, and a typical kitchen has between 20 and 40 cabinet doors and drawers. That means a complete hardware swap, polished nickel pulls, brushed brass knobs, finishes that have looked timeless for decades, could cost anywhere from $100 to $600 depending on the finish and style you choose. If your new hardware uses the same hole spacing as the old, you won't drill a single new hole. One afternoon with a screwdriver, you'll walk into your kitchen the next morning and it will feel like someone installed new cabinets overnight. All you changed were the knobs. You're about to drill holes you can't undo. Once you drill into a cabinet door, that hole is permanent. No erasing it, no filling it invisibly. On cabinets that cost $5,000, $8,000, maybe $15,000. And according to current market data, the average kitchen cabinet replacement runs between $5,000 and $25,000. The stakes are very real. One viewer told me she was rebuilding her kitchen after a flood and was terrified to drill into her brand new cabinets. She didn't know if knobs go on doors or drawers. She just knew she couldn't afford to get it wrong. That fear is completely valid. Here's how you eliminate the risk. The standard. Pulls go horizontally on drawers, knobs go centered on doors. Buy a hardware template for under $10 at any home improvement store. Mark every hole with painter's tape before the drill touches wood. And if you're swapping old hardware for new, measure your existing hole spacing first. If it matches, you're reusing the same holes. No new drilling, no risk. 30 extra minutes of measuring saves thousands in regret. The trendy finish that's already dating your kitchen. Remember when every renovation show told you matte black was the must-have finish? That was barely 4 or 5 years ago. If you followed that advice, matte black faucet, matte black pulls, matte black fixtures, you might already feel it. That finish now marks exactly when you last updated your kitchen. It happened with oil-rubbed bronze in the mid-2000s. It happened with antique copper. It will happen again. But it never happens with polished nickel, or chrome, or unlacquered brass. These finishes have survived every trend cycle for over 50 years. One viewer said it perfectly: polished nickel feels timeless. Another shared that her 40-year-old cherry wood cabinets still get compliments from every guest. 40 years. When you're in the showroom deciding, ask yourself, will this still look good 15 years from now? If the answer isn't a confident yes, walk away. The two-tone trend that's about to age badly. This one will be controversial, but it could save you from a very expensive regret. Two-tone cabinetry is everywhere. White uppers, navy island. It photographs beautifully. Designers love it. But a kitchen is not a throw pillow. You cannot swap it out when the look changes, and the look will change. Think back 15 years. Every designer said, go all white. Millions of homeowners did. Now those same designers say white is sterile and dated. One of the most liked comments on this channel nailed it. The designers who told you white was in are now telling you it's out. And in 5 years, the new thing will be out too. Two-tone will likely follow the same cycle. If you want contrast, use a different countertop material or texture on your island instead of a different paint color. Subtle contrast ages gracefully. Bold color blocking tends to have an expiration date. Your beautiful island is secretly ruining your kitchen. Large islands look incredible in real estate photos, but then you started living with yours. Every time you cook dinner, you walk around that island a dozen times. Fridge to stove around the island, stove to sink around the island. Grabbing a spice, putting away a board, around. One viewer described bumping her hip on the island corner so many times that cooking became something she dreaded. Another said you needed roller skates to cross the kitchen. The kitchen work, triangle, fridge, stove, sink should have each side between 4 and 9 feet, with the total perimeter under 26 feet. These are well-established kitchen design guidelines used by professionals across the industry. If your island breaks that triangle, it's not serving you. It's slowing you down. If you're planning a renovation, seriously consider a peninsula. Same counter space, same seating, same storage, without blocking your path. If you already have an oversized island, ask your contractor about reducing it by 12 inches on one side. Sometimes that small change transforms everything. You paid thousands for cabinets you can't reach. If you are 5'4" or shorter, which is approximately average height for women in the United States, your ceiling height cabinets have an entire shelf, maybe 2, that you cannot reach without climbing on something. A step stool, a kitchen chair, the edge of the counter. Every single time you do that, you are taking a risk that does not get smaller as the years go by. According to the CDC, falls are the leading cause of both fatal and non-fatal injuries among adults aged 65 and older. Over 14 million older adults report falling each year, and many of those falls happen at home during routine activities, exactly like reaching for a high cabinet shelf. You shouldn't have to risk your safety to grab a serving bowl you use at Thanksgiving. One viewer with arthritis described the pain of lifting items from different heights. Another, 5 feet tall, said she could only reach the bottom shelf of 6 cabinets. She couldn't use her own kitchen without help. Pull-down shelf systems can make a real difference. The Reve Shelf 5PD series, for example, typically ranges from around $150 to nearly $600 depending on the size and retailer, while the Hafele iMove system runs approximately $400 to $500. These install inside your existing cabinets and glide heavy items down to counter height using a gas-assisted mechanism. They're not cheap, but when you consider what a fall could cost both financially and physically, it's a worthwhile investment for many homeowners. If that's not in your budget right now, reorganize with one simple rule. Daily items at eye level, monthly items one shelf up, seasonal items at the top. And when you do reach up, use a proper two-step ladder with a handrail. Never a chair, never the counter. Your cabinet should work for your body, not against it. The cabinets to the ceiling rule that backfired. Take your cabinets to the ceiling. You've heard it 100 times, and for standard 8 to 9 foot ceilings, it's excellent advice. But if your home has 10, 12, or 14 foot ceilings, common across Florida, Texas, and the Southwest, floor to ceiling cabinetry doesn't look clean. It looks overwhelming. A towering wall of wood that dominates the room. And it costs significantly more for cabinet space so high you'll never realistically use it. Based on current pricing, kitchen cabinets run between $100 and $300 per linear foot for stock, and up to $650 or more per linear foot for semi-custom. Those extra feet of height add up fast. For ceilings above 10 feet, you have better options. Install standard upper cabinets with a sealed soffit above them, or add a row of smaller glass front display cabinets with interior lighting above the main uppers. Or finish with substantial crown molding that creates an elegant stopping point. Crown molding installation for a kitchen typically costs between $200 and $600, depending on the material and labor in your area. One viewer described using crown molding with a hidden LED strip behind it. The result looked completely custom. The principle is proportion. Your cabinets should feel balanced when you walk in, not like they're climbing the wall. The invisible problem hiding on top of your cabinets right now. This is the most important point in this entire video. If your upper cabinets don't reach the ceiling, there is a gap above them. 6 inches, 12 inches, sometimes 18 inches. And what's accumulating up there would make most homeowners deeply uncomfortable. Every time you cook, grease rises and settles on top of those cabinets as a sticky, invisible film. Dust bonds to that grease, layer after layer, year after year. But that's not the worst part. In warmer climates, Florida, Georgia, Texas, that warm, dark, undisturbed space becomes a shelter. Palmetto bugs, cockroaches, spiders. One viewer in Florida described finding pest droppings on top of cabinets that hadn't been cleaned in years. And the AIR your family breathes, while you eat breakfast, while your grandchildren sit at the counter, circulates through that space every single day. Closing this gap is not optional. It fixes the pest issue. It eliminates grease buildup. It makes your kitchen look taller and more intentional, and buyers and appraisers notice the difference immediately. 3 options. Extend cabinets to the ceiling if your height allows. Install a sealed soffit. Most contractors can do this in 1 to 2 days. Or add crown molding tight against the ceiling to close the gap visually and physically. If you do only one thing after this video, one single change, make it this: close that gap, seal it, and never wonder what's living up there again. Some of these might have hit close to home. Maybe you looked up at that gap above your cabinets. Maybe you thought about the matte black hardware you chose because a designer said it was the future. Maybe you remembered that top shelf you haven't reached without a step stool in years. That's okay. Now you know. And knowing gives you the power to act. Your kitchen is the heart of your home. It's where you've cooked thousands of meals, where your kids did homework at the counter, where you have your morning coffee before the day starts. It deserves to work as beautifully as those memories, not for a trend, not for a magazine, for you. Which of these mistakes did you spot in your own kitchen? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and your stories help shape future videos. If this helped you, give it a thumbs up. It makes a real difference in reaching more homeowners who need this. And if you're new, subscribe and hit that bell. Next, we're tackling the biggest kitchen mistakes beyond cabinets, countertops, backsplash, appliances, and more. I'll see you in the next one.